Hey guys, so yeah, it's been a while since the last Sweet vlog I've done, but I decided I'd like to say a few words on the latest Pokemon Sun and Moon trailers that have come out. That would be the Tuesday, September 6th trailers, which, if this goes up according to plan, that would be yesterday. I'm not gonna dwell too much on kind of the same old stuff that everybody's talking about as far as the obvious things that were revealed, the new Pokemon, but I will go over all of it. To some extent, but I'll probably focus a little bit more on the things that are that caught my interest that maybe I haven't seen anybody really bring up yet. And I am bringing this to you without webcam, unfortunately, but you know, we've got screen capture going on here. We got Cerebi up. We're gonna play the English trailer and maybe pause at certain points. Let's see. I won't make this full screen, I'll just keep it little because copyright stuff. So we see new discoveries in Alola. The very first thing we see, one of the biggest, but not the biggest shock by any means in this trailer is Type Null. And no, that is not a type, nor is it a typo. As you can see, this is a normal type Pokemon. This Pokemon's name is Type Null. And if you can't tell from the small image, it's basically, well, the speculation, popular speculation, especially since there's all these theories Pokemon Sun and Moon are related to alchemy. The popular theory is that this is a Chimera Pokemon, and if you look close enough, you can see it's got that helmet on, which is supposedly to limit its power. It's got like a fin sort of tail of like an aquatic Pokemon. It's got hind legs of like maybe a dog or some other quadruped Pokemon, and its front legs are kind of like claws. Maybe, it's hard to tell whether it's like a bird Pokemon like Skarmory or maybe even a bug. No, I want to say a bird. It's got like bird claws. So this has the hallmarks of a Chimera, which if you don't know is a mythical creature that tends to be made up of different animal parts. Like there's different kinds of Chimeras, and I guess they don't have to be limited to certain animals, but I know there's certain animals that appear more commonly in Chimeras. But that's what this seems to be. Now, this is an artificial Pokemon, I guess. The description on the official website mentions something like it was created through, I guess, gene splicing. It has different parts. The different parts that you see are traits that it took from different Pokemon. Now, what those Pokemon are, I'm not really sure. But suffice to say, I think it's pretty clear this is a Chimera Pokemon. So just another link, because Chimeras are linked to alchemy. It's sort of another feather in the cap of people who are going by the alchemy theory. Type Null, weird name, but I guess it kind of goes with the idea that this was an artificially created Pokemon. But next we have another oddly named Pokemon. It just gets weirder from here. Jangmo-o, I guess. I'm gonna call it Django, or... maybe not Jang. I'll just call it Jangmo. I don't know. I'm gonna call him Jangmo. We got a little cute little dragon Pokemon here. Most people speculating this is the first stage of whatever the pseudo-legendary Pokemon is gonna be in this generation. I would say that does seem to be the case. It's got kind of a heart-shaped scale on its head, which makes me wonder if it's gonna be the new way to farm heart scales. Instead of catching Love Disc, you can catch Jangmo. The abilities it can have are bulletproof or soundproof. I heard someone speculating that this could be pretty good for competitive play, depending on if this ends up being the pseudo-legendary and it keeps the ability soundproof. It could be a solid choice as a substitute user, and it could kind of be a check to Sylveon, who of course is so commonly uses Hyper Voice with its ability Pixelate. But enough of the metagame talk here. I like Jangmo-o, even though I don't know how to say its name. It's pretty cute. It has the potential to be maybe a defensive dragon, but I don't know. I like it. It's kind of got, if you look back here, it's kind of got traits like an Ankylosaurus with the things protruding from the sides, or it's just supposed to look like armor. Who knows? But I'm excited about Jangmo-o. Probably the best thing. But we also have Alolan Raticate, which we all knew was coming because we knew there was Alolan Rattata, and I think they made mention to Alolan Raticate in the description for Alolan Rattata. So we have Alolan Rattata were chased into the shadows by Yungoos, and they developed their dark typing, and now we have Alolan Raticate is sort of the mob boss of all of these Rattata, and just look at it, it eats. This Raticate eats, and of course has two abilities, Gluttony or Hustle. Gluttony makes a whole lot of sense. Look at those cheeks, you know, although Cheek Pouch would also make sense, but Gluttony kind of ties in better with the dark typing. I think there was a mention on the website that chefs will use Alolan Raticate because they have really refined sense of taste, smell and taste, I guess. Even though this Raticate is quite large, so obviously eats a lot, in spite of that, he actually has a very refined palate, and so chefs will use Alolan Raticate, to pick out the best and finest ingredients for their cooking, which, if that doesn't sound like a nod to Remy from Ratatouille, I don't know what is. Although, to be fair, Remy was a skinny rat because he only ate the best food. This guy looks a lot more like Remy's brother, who, if you remember, was huge because he ate everything. But yeah, kind of interesting. Still got the normal dark typing, kind of weird. But this thing is so comical, but I will say it gives Raticate a little more personality. But moving on, don't want to spend too much time. This is something that I want to, this time thing is something I wanted to spend a little bit more time than I think a lot of people have on. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon are set 12 hours apart, and I believe the website confirmed that Pokemon Sun is going to follow the exact time of your 3DS internal clock, and then Pokemon Moon will be just 12 hours different from whatever that is. So, if you're playing at noon in Pokemon Sun, it'll be midnight in Pokemon Moon. Or rather, if your 3DS internal clock says it's noon, it'll be 12 a.m., midnight. So that's kind of interesting, and it kind of makes sense. You have the Sun and Moon, and it also makes sense to, if they're going to assume that most people are going to play during the daytime, although I know for me, I tend to have time mostly to play in the evenings, but it makes sense if the major events in Sun, like you think Solgaleo, a Sun Pokemon, the events surrounding it would make more sense to happen in the daytime when there's sunlight, and in Moon you have Lunala, it would make more sense for those events to happen in the nighttime, so it makes sense. And you can see they show the different scenery, but it's not just an aesthetic change because the events are actually different. So in Pokemon Sun, you actually have to fight against a Gumshoos as your first totem Pokemon, whereas you will fight an Alolan Raticate in Pokemon Moon. Now, what I wasn't sure about is this time dependent? So, like, if you're playing, because Alolan Raticate is nocturnal, and Yungoos and Gumshoos are, active in the daytime, so they're counterparts. So, is it just a version exclusivity? Like, will you always face Gumshoos in Sun and Raticate in Moon? Or is it time dependent? It doesn't say it's time dependent, but hear me out. So if Alolan Raticate are nocturnal, could you possibly play Pokemon Sun? And depending on whether you're playing in the daytime or nighttime, that'll determine whether you face Gumshoos or Raticate. That does not seem to be the case. It seems to be based on which version you're playing, which does make more sense, but it could have been an interesting thing to base it off of what time of day. But as you can see, it basically plays out exactly the same other than, what Pokemon. Alright, well, the time thing... Oh no, the time thing, let me skip, we're gonna get to the Aether Foundation in a second, but let's go ahead and skip to the Japanese trailer over here, on Game Explain's channel, which I highly recommend you go check them out. We're gonna try to skip ahead. Yeah, here we have the part, let's go a little more ahead. So here was where we left off in the English trailer. We have the aesthetic differences. You can see a 12-hour difference. And when it's nighttime in Sun, it's daytime in Moon, and vice versa. Now here's what I wanted to take a moment. Talking about the differences in the version, you see in Pokemon Sun, they run into a Drifloon, and Pokemon Moon, they run into a Misdreavus. What I'm wondering is, are these version-exclusive Pokemon, so you catch Drifloon in Sun and Misdreavus in Moon? That does seem to be what they're implying, but also given the fact that it's daytime when Drifloon is encountered and nighttime when Misdreavus is encountered, could it be just that Drifloon is a Pokemon you find on that route during the day and Misdreavus is something you find during the night? I would tend to think that it's more likely that these are version exclusive, so Drifloon in Sun and Misdreavus in Moon. But I don't know for sure. I think that's what they're implying, but it could be a daytime, nighttime thing, just to give an idea. I mean, they're both ghost types, but I could see Drifloon being more of a Pokemon you'd see in the daytime. It's a balloon, you know, it lures little children and carries them away creepily. Okay, so before I go back to the English trailer, I wanted to... Let's see, where do they talk about... Where they talk about... Oh, these are Pokemon... Where they talk about the taking photos. Oh yeah, here we go. Alright, so we have the... it'll come up in a second here. Here we go. We have the spiritual successor to Pokemon Snap, I guess. There's these certain spots where you can, I guess, use your Rotom Pokedex to take pictures of Pokemon doing all sorts of cute little things. And you can have your pictures rated, I guess, by your friends, see who gave you thumbs up. They showed it in the English trailer as well, but I want to go over and get into my next point. When we're talking about Pokemon that have Alolan forms and Pokemon that don't, I think not a whole lot of time has been given to Pokemon that are confirmed to not have Alolan forms. So we see, of course, a regular Pikachu, which we already knew. We know there's a Alolan Raichu, but it does seem that we just have regular Pikachu here, because I would assume if there were an Alolan Pikachu, you would see it. So also... Oh, I skipped the video. Excuse me right there. I'm gonna come back to where we were. Get rid of this ad. Come on. Alright, let's go back. So, the other Pokemon you can see, I would say the non-Alola native Pokemon, we see, after Pikachu, we see Eevee and Lillipup. So, let's see if we can catch them both in the same shot. So, as you can tell, they appear to be regular Eevee and Lillipup, so I think we can be certain that Eevee and Lillipup will not have Alolan forms. And later, well, we see these two are Alolan Pokemon, and then we see Dragonite, which I also believe this would mean there's no Alolan Dragonite for us, so sorry. It would be really cool to have an Alolan Dragonite, but no. And also that makes me think Drifloon and Misdreavus also not going to have Alolan forms. And we can go on this further, a point that I kind of I almost wanted to make a sweet speculation video about it, but it's not really that big of a theory, but something that I noticed on the Japanese website for Pokemon Sun and Moon that I haven't heard a whole lot of talk about. You can see this page here. I had a translation up before, but I kind of lost it. But anyway, this page here is a Pokedex page, and these, it's just for Sun and Moon. Like, this is not an exhaustive Sun and Moon Pokedex, but the Pokemon shown here it's specifically Pokemon that are in Pokemon Sun and Moon. So of course we see Alolan Pokemon and Alolan forms, and then we start to see regular Dragonite, regular Zubat, and this would appear regular Golbat and Crobat also, so we can go here, regular Dratini and Dragonair also. Sorry if I'm going too fast there. So these two Pokemon and their evolutionary families don't, it seems like they don't have an Alolan form, because we can look over here at Alolan Meowth, and it shows you the regular form and the Alolan form. So I would presume that if a Pokemon has an Alolan form, they wouldn't just show its regular form here. They would wait and reveal it. So we can assume that Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite, and Zubat, Golbat, Crobat not going to have Alolan forms. Gyarados, let's see, Magikarp and Gyarados going to have their regular forms. No Alolan Magikarp or Gyarados. Spearow, which seems to be ordinary, and Fearow. So ordinary Spearow and Fearow. Pinsir, ordinary Pinsir. Don't mention Mega Pinsir at all, which I know a lot of people are saying that it seems like Mega Evolutions are not going to appear in Pokemon Sun and Moon. So far, this does seem to be true. But I think the stories are going to tie in somehow, but I'll get to that later. Lapras, which we kind of already saw in the Poke Ride. I think we saw you could ride on Lapras, so we already knew. Lapras, Sharpedo, Stoutland. What were the other ones? Charizard. Any other ones? Well, Mudsdale, but... So those three are Pokemon that we can already assume not going to have Alolan forms because we've seen their regular forms in Alola. Arcanine. I know there was like a supposed leak that there was going to be an Alolan Arcanine that was going to be water type, but this does not seem to be true. We see regular Growlithe and Arcanine, and regular Psyduck and Golduck. And of course, in the same trailer that revealed Alolan Rattata, we find out that there is ordinary Munchlax and Snorlax, but Snorlax does get its own Z move. It does not get an Alolan form, but it gets its own Z move. And I think that was it as far as non-Alolan Pokemon that don't have Alolan forms. So far, now whether these are the only non-Alolan Pokemon that'll appear in Sun and Moon, not sure. They might reveal more. They might reveal more with Alolan forms and more without Alolan forms, but I just wanted to mention that because I don't think we've seen a whole lot of, well, at least I haven't seen a whole lot of talk about what Pokemon we can be sure are not getting Alolan forms. And when I say sure, I mean that like in quotation marks, but we can be pretty sure that all of these, plus Pikachu, Eevee, Lillipup, Misdreavus, and Drifloon, probably are not getting Alolan forms. Now, maybe some of them they're evolutions. We know Stoutland isn't, but I don't know if any evolutions might have an Alolan form. That could get kind of crazy, so I'm not going to bank on that. But who knows? We might see, well, we do have Alolan Raichu, and we have Alolan Exeggutor evolving from a regular Execute, so who knows? But so far, I would say these are non-Alolan Pokemon, and most of these show all their evolutionary stages not being Alolan, so just to kind of throw that out there. Alright, let's get back, oh, well we're not going to talk about that until later. Let's get back to the Aether Foundation, where we have this whole other organization who seems to be, they're on that artificial island that, if you look at the Alola map, it's kind of right in the middle. That little tiny artificial island is the Aether Paradise, which is supposedly a safe haven for Pokemon, and the Aether Foundation is supposedly at odds with Team Skull, to kind of save Pokemon from them. But there's a lot of kind of suspicion, like a lot of people are getting suspicious about these guys because look, they have these employees that look an awful lot like grunts. They have the one guy, what's his name? Baba, I want to say, who looks totally sketchy as all get out. He just like a sketchy looking guy. And who knows, like it could be kind of, they could actually be a good team that kind of helps you out and they're just a counterpart to Team Skull, but they're on the for good. Or their intentions could end up being not so great as they appear on the surface. I think there's definitely more to this story that we're obviously not being told, so we can find out later. But we should get to this. We do get a little more information about Team Skull. Their enforcer, Gladion, who uses that Pokemon type Null that was revealed. Now, something interesting about Gladion is that he has, his appearance is different from the rest of the Team Skull members we've seen so far. Aside from just his clothing looks a little bit different, he's just got he kind of fits in with the Team Flare aesthetic, but is a little bit different. He doesn't have the team, did I say Team Flare? I meant Team Skull. I keep thinking Team Flare for some reason, but I mean Team Skull. He doesn't have the little Team Skull insignia, like pendant, and he doesn't have like any like tattoo type markings like some of them seem to have. And also his complexion is noticeably fairer compared to the others. And normally this wouldn't make a difference, but the reason I point this out is that if you also look, he has blonde hair, green eyes, and an overall pale complexion. Which, if we look, not you, but Lusamine, the president of the aforementioned Aether Foundation, very similar. It's hard to tell, but she's got green eyes, she's got the same sort of color blonde hair, and stark pale complexion. They look awfully similar, so if there's not some kind of connection there, I would be surprised. And another person that I think would be connected to maybe the Aether Foundation in general, but specifically Lusamine and Gladion, is Lily. Another one, if you see green eyes, light blonde hair and very, very fair complexion. And if you also notice, she's dressed all in white, very similar to the Aether Foundation members. She doesn't have quite the same kind of uniform look that they do, but she's all in white and she kind of matches the physical appearance, at least of Lusamine. But Gladion also kind of matches the physical appearance, at least on the, on the genetics side. So who knows? I think Gladion's got more to his story. And there's one more thing with relation to the Aether Foundation that I will get to after this. First, I'm going to talk about, we have the return of Cena and Dexio. Now, when I first watched this trailer, I tweeted out the screenshot of these two talking, and I referred to them as an older Cena and Dexio. And when I thought about it a little after the fact, I realized they might not be noticeably older, because if you keep in mind in X and Y, the overworld sprites were kind of that chibi look, and we never really did. I don't think we ever got to see Cena and Dexio at full scale like you could sometimes see the other trainers. So they might not actually be much older, although I still always got the impression from Cena and Dexio that they were kind of kids, and they seem older. They at least look older than your player character in this shot here. So my theory, and it certainly seems that Sun and Moon are going to not only take place after X and Y, but they're going to be sequels and connected somehow, which no big surprise there, because the reason Cena and Dexio are here are to give you this thing called a Zygarde Cube and to help you gather the Zygarde core and cells in order to, I guess, eventually form Zygarde's perfect form. So there's more to the Zygarde lore and more to the, I guess, X and Y story being continued in Sun and Moon. My strong belief is that Sun and Moon will be somehow a sequel to X and Y with this tie-in. But anyway, we have more of the little Pokemon Snap feature there, which we've already kind of talked about, but it shows you can share your photos, get ratings from people, and we have taken pictures of stuff. There's that Dragonite again. But now, I'm going to go back to the Aether Foundation here, because we have a new, I won't even say Pokemon, a new type of creature called Ultra Beasts. And we've only been revealed one of them. They go by special code names, and this is UBO1, Ultra Beast 1. This thing is, I don't know what this thing is. It is a creature of some kind. It says that they pose a threat to people and Pokemon, which makes me think that these are not exactly Pokemon. These are some other sort of creature. What are they? I don't know. Well, none of us know. That we just got this really little tease. But a lot of people have been speculating, and I say a lot, I mean at least a couple of people, and I thought this too. If you look, if you read UBO1's description on the website, it mentions something about its movements mimicking those or appearing like those of a young girl. Now let me take you again to the photo of, not that one, let me take you again to Lily's picture, and if you look, you can see, just look at her bangs here. Let me move this closer. And the little bangs here. You got some arms over here, or potentially these braids, maybe the braids, and then, I did it again, and then you have this thing, and the hair, and then the little things at the bottom are the legs. I think, well, oh, and not even to mention the big hat thing. Yeah, the big hat. And just the way that this thing moves when it appears. Let me go to the Japanese trailer more toward the end, I think, because they do all these, like, reveal of all these Pokemon that we've already seen. I don't know, guys. Do you think that... I think that it is quite possible that UBO1 is, or Lily is actually UBO1. But let's take a look at this little entrance cutscene here. You see it come through this little portal thing and just kind of float there. And I don't know, the way this thing is carrying itself and the little leg things kind of go together like how Lily is kind of knock-kneed. It seems too obvious. I mean, maybe Lily isn't actually UB01, but she has some kind of connection to it. For some reason, she bears a striking resemblance to it. And tying this back into the Aether Foundation, I believe, one of their tasks is researching the Ultra Beasts. And so that would kind of tie in together interestingly if Lily, first of all, if Lily is related to, what is her name? Lumina again? What is her name again? Lusamine. I don't know why I said Lumina. Lusamine. If she's related to Lusamine and Gladion, like, I could see a whole triangle thing going on here. Like, maybe Gladion was part of the Aether Foundation and then defected to Team Skull over something. I could see these three all being siblings. At the same time, I could see Lily being an Ultra Beast, being UB01 secretly. I don't know. But if we pay attention to Lily's description, read it again, and then put it in the context of now what we know about the Aether Foundation and Ultra Beast. Lily is a mysterious girl who assists the professor. This young girl is about the same age as your character, and she's working as Professor Kukui's assistant for personal reasons. She's not fond of making Pokemon fight in battles, but she loves reading and has devoured many books. Lily will play an important role in the story of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. So a couple of points here. She's Professor Kukui's assistant for personal reasons, and she doesn't really like making Pokemon fight. That kind of makes me think she could be tied to the Aether Foundation somehow. And again, her physical appearance is similar to Lusamine, and her just overall way she's dressed. She seems like she could be an Aether Foundation member. But also she looks a lot like UB01, so either I think she is UB01 or like UB01 comes into existence and mimics her appearance. I don't know, there's all sorts of potential speculation we could do on that, but I definitely think, because I mean, physical similarities are nothing new, but when you think of the similar, the identical, in fact, complexion, eye color, and hair color of Lily, Lusamine, and Gladion, I do think there is some level of connection there, but, you know, only time will tell. It might take us until November to find out. But anyway, guys, I think that's the extent of what I wanted to talk about in this trailer, for this trailer. Go ahead and leave a like if you like this video. Go ahead and leave a comment as well. Let me know your thoughts on all of the sort of speculative things, like about Lily, about UB01, about Aether Foundation. Are they secretly evil? Or at least, do they have some ulterior motives that we don't know about yet? As well as the different Pokemon, type Null, and Jangmo-O, or whatever his name is. Go ahead and leave a comment as well, because I'm going to, when Pokemon Sun and Moon come out, I'm going to not play it. I don't want to do a series on it right away, because I want to play one of the versions just by myself and just get to experience it blind, well, as blind as I can be with all of these spoilers, but I want to experience it like for the first time just on my own, at my own pace, and kind of do it. But then after that, I want to do some kind of challenge, maybe a Nuzlocke on my channel. So I will be getting both versions of Sun and Moon, both Sun and Moon, so let me know in the comments. We still have a ways to go, but might as well let me know now, which version would you like me to see me do a Let's Play of? Sun or Moon? And I'll do another poll later as it gets closer, but yeah, let me know, would you like me to play Sun or Moon, so I know which one to start with personally. Anyway, guys, like and comment, subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay up to date on my videos. Also, if you'd like to follow me on social media, like my page on Facebook, or follow me on Twitter, the links are in the description, and I do tweet out stuff when I can't do a full Sweet vlog or any other kind of video. I usually tweet it out, so just my thoughts on it if anything hits me. So definitely follow me there. But that's gonna do it, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.